Hello, this is DotP Fafnir, and I'm going to be doing a replay review of an OD mid for a DotP show listener named Mr. Blue, not Mr. Blue, who we know very well. And I don't think I've gone over one of his games. Probably won't, because I don't think he's going to want me to nag him. But Mr. Blue, a different Mr. Blue, who I know on Twitter has been pretty active and chatting with us, which I always appreciate. Sent me this in looking for tips on mid OD, which I hardly ever play. Please be gentle. I'll see how gentle I can be. And just to let you guys know, you can request send me in replays at Twitter is the best way, at Fafnir Dota. I'm on it pretty much all day. And then you can also go to the Defense of the Patient Reddit. There's a sticky thread at the top. I'm actually down to just 4 replays, including this one. So right now, you'd be able to look at yours in a little over 2 weeks. So anyway, so we're going to be going over OD right now, and looking at OD, we're going to over his abilities real quick. He has first abilities is Q, which is an arcane orb, which you can auto cast, as well as orb walk with it, which is one of the reasons he's such a good laner. It adds pure damage to the OD's attacks based on his current mana pool. It goes 6, 7, 8, and 9% of his mana pool, and it's pure damage added as a separate instance from his right click. It also steals 1, 2, 3, 4 intelligence for 80 seconds when it hits an enemy hero, and it does a massive bonus damage based on the level of it to summoned units and illusions. So it's really good against Forge Spirits, it's really good against Warlock Golems, it's good against illusions, that sort of thing. Now, the hero doesn't have much AoE, so he's not good against illusion heroes, but he can kill illusions very quickly. And this mana cost also goes up quite a bit. So it starts at 100, which is a lot for an orb attack, and it goes up to 160. So it's not something you can spam early on, and even late game, you don't necessarily want to spam it when you're not fighting heroes. The second ability is the ability that lets him really dominate lanes, called Astral Imprisonment, and this is a dual use ability. It is a offensive ability to let you catch people, it's also a farming tool, and then it's really 3 uses, and it's also a defensive tool to save allies and save yourself. So what it does is it puts you into a prison, so you're off the map, you cannot be damaged, but you do get healing. So if you salve and imprison yourself, like when somebody's going on you, if they don't break the salve before you get yourself up in there, you're going to heal up with the salve the whole way. Neat little trick. And after 4 seconds, you come down, and in a 400 radius around the imprisoned point, there's a magic AoE damage doing 100, 175, 250, and 325. So it's a pretty good nuke, and it does it in a 400 radius. So this lets you farm out creep waves, especially early, and its cast range also scales all the way up to 600. And the cooldown goes down as well. The mana cost does increase, but that's okay, because honestly the cast range going up to 600 is amazing, and this is the tool that lets you dominate lanes basically, and we'll talk about that in game, how you use it that way. His third ability is Essence Aura, and this is a passive, which is what allows OD to use his very expensive spells pretty constantly, and it is, I decline that, I need to take myself offline. Cannot play anymore. Sorry about this. I forgot to mark myself as offline before I did this. Okay. So, Essence Aura, you get a bonus base mana of 125, 200, 275, and 350. So you get 125 mana for the first level and 75 extra mana for each of the subsequent levels. And it gives you a 40% chance on a pseudo-random that you will get a percentage of your mana back. And you get 10% at level 1, 15, and then it goes up 5 each level, all the way up to 25%. So this ability lets you spam out your spells and still regenerate mana, and this also affects your allies, so allies can spam spells. It's really nice with Oracle or Bristle or somebody, they can just spam their low cooldown spells and fill up their mana pool of ODs within 900 of them. Finally, his ult, Sanity's Eclipse, it's a massive AoE, has cast range of 700, it's got a really big AoE, and it removes 40% of the mana and damages them based on the difference between their int and the OD's int, and its radius goes up as it goes up, 375, 475, and 575, and that's a really big radius, so you can kind of hit a whole team fight with this. It does hit units that are astraled, so if you astral someone, even if they're still in the astral, it will still hit them, so they basically come out dead. So the best way you use this is you slam on people with your Q, and then once you build up a bunch of stolen int from them, you use it to just blow them up. You can use it for solo kills, you can use it to like team wipe people if you've stolen enough int potentially. It's really it's on a 160 cooldown, and it's a really nice big team fight ult. So now that we've gone over that, let's get into the game. This was a ranked game. It was, let me look, yeah, it's about 2.4, 2.3, somewhere in that range were the MMRs that I looked at. I know that there was a two stack on each side, unfortunately. It wasn't a true solo situation, but
when I say a thing,
it is what
you
it
know
is.
it's true. So I'm calling it right here and now. This
So you
one's
do have two
in the
supports.
bag.
You are pooled 2 tangles. Nice.
Be averted.
Okay. So your starting items, let's talk about what you got. You got a Null Talisman, which is perfect. You were pooled 2 tangos nicely by your supports. That's great. You don't always get that, no matter your MMR, but you did. Then you bought tangos. This is not good. Generally, in this situation, you want to buy a Fairy Fire and a branch, or 2 branches, and then save up money to buy a salve. And it's really important to... the branches are really nice because they double these shared tango regen. So basically you get 230 for the health of the pool tangos. That gives you quite a bit of sustain. And they also give you damage before you eat them. Then you also want to make sure you buy a salve. By buying these tangos, you just have a lot of passive regen, so you can't trade aggressively at low levels. And if your opponent being a salve and he sees this, what he can do is he can just aggressively punch you, even if it's an uneven trade, and he takes 500 damage and you take 400 damage. He then walks away, salves himself up, and then he comes back to lane, and you're sitting there eating a tango, and you're slowly regenning up. You can't actually contest the creep wave with him then. So if you're going to buy extra regen right immediately, buy a salve when you have these 2 tangos, especially as mid, especially as a bottom mid. Don't get, you don't want 6 tangos as a mid. Not at all. But, you know, it's fine. I like that you brought more regen to lane. That is better than the usual alternative. Looks like your camera's a little wonky. Yeah. This is sped up a little bit.
30 seconds to
Until we get to where the rune is. 1 second. I'm gonna have to pause this. My apologies, I had to let my dog out. So, we'll just leave that in there though, because it's getting late, and I don't really have time to re-record, I'm afraid. So we'll go into here. Rune, you got Astral level 1, that's good. You should just Astral him. Wow, okay, that was 100% a kill if you just Astral him. Okay, you're chasing. I think you're still going to get him. So, Astral is a 100 damage nuke. You got into range of him, he was pounced. You could have just Astraled him, and then you can just position your hero. Your heroes could have repositioned so to cut him off, so he couldn't have walked away. Plus, he takes extra 100 magic damage minus the 25. He takes 75 magic damage to boot. So, looks like Ogre still gets it though. So, works out. But don't be afraid to use that, especially when you're ranged, just for some extra damage and allow your whole team to kind of coalesce around. So good. Mid got first blooded. Looks like you missed out 1 creep. Let's bring up last hits. Okay. So how OD mid works is when you what you want to do is you want to Astral him when he is going to go for a last hit, basically. So right now he's going to go for this range creep here. You want to basically walk towards him and Astral him and then deny it. And then you can get last hits of yourself because you have 4 seconds of freedom then. He's just can't do anything. Now, a good player will back away, But just walking towards him and threatening to astral him means you can often get the denies. Because so he'll walk forward, try to get this creep, and I think he'll probably get it. We'll see. Yeah, see, he got it. But if you'd, by prepping, walked towards him and to astral, forcing him to back off, then you could have turned around and just denied it yourself. And so you can use a threat of astral to exert lane dominance and get last hits and denies, and then, or you can just astral him if he doesn't respond, and then he takes 100 magic, the nuke damage and harass, and you still get the deny. So that's the number one thing to work on is ODs, how to do that. See, when he walks up like that, you've got to, when a Storm Spirit walks up like that, you got to punish him. So if you'd astraled him there, you know, you could have gotten some denies, free last hits, that sort of thing. And instead, because you let him push you under the tower, he's double waved you, which means that you kind of can't contest. Get those last hits. But yeah, as an OD, especially when he's been first blooded, you should not be letting him get this much lane dominance. Like right now, you could just walk up and astral him, and you would have secured that last hit. Like, yeah, there's no reason for him to be able to get that. Okay, so you got a point of Arcane Orb. Problem with Arcane Orb at low levels is that 100 mana is a lot, and your mana pool is rather small, so like you see here, you're doing 29 pure damage right now. And not only that, you don't have the levels of Essence Aura to spam it. So the new build with ODs is to, you basically will max Astral, then get max Essence Aura, get a value point in Q, so you end up like 4, 1, 4, often skipping ult to level 10. Sometimes you want to get ult earlier. I like to hold a point or get ult if I think I'm going to team fight, but I never get more than a point of Q, and I certainly don't get it this early in this matchup. Situationally, sometimes you do need it, and that can be important, but having another point in Astral is a really big deal. The cast range, the cooldown, everything about it scales really nicely, and it just lets you exert lane dominance. It looks like you're going for aggressive trades with him. You should just Astral him right now. If you Astral him, so how much HP does he have? Yeah, he has 69 HP. If you'd Astraled him, you could have just walked away and killed him for free. Instead, you Astraled yourself, which leaves you self-stationary. He put down a remnant under you, so you're 100% dead now. Fortunately, he's being an idiot, and he's going to die when you come down. Boom. And he's dead. And it looks like you got XP for that, so that's pretty cool. Bad news is you are dead. So that sucked. If you just astraled him at some point when he was trying to trade with you, you could have walked away from that situation, tangoed up, and you'd have been fine. So you're buying bottle and walking to lane. This is mega bad. So yeah, I want my bottle, it's really useful. But you're at full mana, full HP. What do you need your bottle for right now? You do not need it. What you do need is to get to lane and get these freaking creeps. Now, if you had asked a support to say, hey, I've got my bottle, will somebody please buy me a TP? Oftentimes, even in pubs, even in unranked pubs, I've had plenty of people buy me TPs. I know as a hard carry, if a mid asks me that, I will offer to buy him a TP quite frequently, because, hey, it helps him out in getting a bottle there earlier. But if there's no communication and you don't have anyone to pull you a TP, make sure you TP to lane, because that XP is way more important than having your bottle when you have full HP and full health. So, yeah, because now you're just walking down mid, and you're going to miss a full creep wave. Maybe 2. Yep. So you're just walking. Yeah, so you're missing out 45, 90... Yeah, you're going to miss out on a full level's worth of XP almost. You missed out pretty much 2 full creep waves because you didn't TP there. And now you've got your bottle, but, you know, who cares? Instead, you missed out. You could be level 4 right now. And Storm Spirit is level 3. So you could be winning this lane so hard with an extra level advantage on him, and then you just have your bottle come out in the courier. Like, it's no big deal. See, now you're trying to Astral him, but because you don't have multiple points of Astral, its range sucks mega hard. Each skill point you add adds a 125 to range to it, which lets you actually Astral people. See, as it is, you can't, you just kind of give up and you orb him, which is good harass. I mean, stealing int from Storm Spirit sucks if he loses damage, but without Astral maxed, you cannot there. So you've got, now you've maxed your Essence Aura, which Essence Aura is really good and scales well, but in a situation when you have a bottle, you don't need more points in it. What you need is useful ways to use your mana. And while Arcane Orb is good, it doesn't provide a lot of damage. Mostly it's a creep aggro thing, and 1 inch stolen isn't a huge deal. So basically you should be maxing Astral. There's just no other way to put it. And then you just need a last hit better. But you know, every video I watch, everyone misses last hits, because that's just the nature. You miss last hits when you play this game. But overall, you know, you're letting the Storm Spirit, you've killed him twice, you got experience for both kills, and you're just letting him passively last hit with you. Like, and this is great for the Storm. This is a shitty matchup for him. The fact that he is way out last hitting you, and you are not pressuring him at all, beyond that one trade when he was the one aggressively going in for that trade. And you're now kind of letting him dictate the lane. And as a Storm Spirit, you know, that's all you can ask for, not to be shit on the lane. See, right now, yeah, if you'd had more points than Astral, you could have just Astraled him. And it looks like you're trying to do it, but he just walks away. Yeah, so instead you're orbing him, which is nice, but you know, he has a bottle at this point too. Yeah, he's got a bottle, so he's fine. Make sure you get those deny on the range group, yeah. So now he's going top rune, you're going bot rune.
Missing top!
Which is good. I honestly, with a full bottle there, I might have told like Earthshaker or somebody to go get that bounty rune, because you not being there, you're gonna miss out on some last hits and some creeps. And because, yeah, so you're missing out on a couple creeps, which honestly at this point, you know, you already had a relatively full bottle and you've got 6 tangos, so your reset gen situation isn't bad. So you just Astral the Catapult to try to get the deny. Okay, you got the denial. You know what would have been better in that situation? If you just Astraled him, and then you could have just denied it there, and then he takes the damage. And can't do anything in the meantime. So it looks like you're committing for this Essence Aura max build, but it's kind of one of those things, like, like I said, Essence Aura enables you to cast your spells constantly. But with only 1 point in both your spells suck. So what's the point? Also, when you are mid and you've been pooled tangos, make sure you use your pooled tangos first. These tangos don't have a cooldown. These have a 60-second cooldown. So by not using them, you're wasting 2 inventory slots, which is a pretty big opportunity cost, because you could have a windlace, you could have a stick, you could have a raindrop, you know, you could have all sorts of useful items here, instead of like 1 pool tango. Plus, you can, you know, spam the other tangos, so make sure to use the ones that get the cooldown going. See right there, if you Astral him, he can't get last hits. He just, yeah, right now, like, he's playing so aggressive, and all you have to do is Astral him, and instead you're just orbing him. And he doesn't give a crap. Yeah, you're doing some damage to him, but, you know, he's getting his farm, he's getting his levels. Plus, you know, lets you push the wave into him. You're constantly under your tower, and this is because you're not going the Astral build. If you go the Astral build, you're hitting the creep wave frequently with a 325 damage nuke at this point, and you'd only have level 3, so you'd have 250, and that will push the creep wave back out into him, and that will let you control the wave more, and you can push and then go get runes without missing any XP. See, right now, he's going to push this wave. First of all, you let him get that denied for no reason. Okay, well, I thought he was going to push the wave, but he's not. Normally in this situation, he'd walk up to your high ground, push the wave out with his thing, and then walk and get top rune. Instead, he is going to miss some XP for this, which is fine. Which is good for you. Looks like he's going to gank top, where Slark's getting pretty big for his britches. And it looks like you're going to go bot to get bot rune. See, and this is one of the things, like, rune control is very important, but when you have full HP and full mana, it's better to get these last hits and get this XP here. You know Storm Spirit's gone, you know he's top because he sent an illusion to you, and you're like, okay, that illusion isn't real. So you know it's bounty. In this situation, just get these 4 last hits. And again, it's the importance of having Astral higher up. You can just use that to clear the way faster and then go check bot rune. Because getting this rune, the whole point of runes, and especially if you're going to get a bounty rune, is to give you the sustain to stay in lane and dominate it and get last hits and get XP. Meanwhile, you know, and the XP and the money from 63 XP and 63 gold is not making up for missing out on what looks to be probably, yep, 3 last hits. You missed the chance to last hit 3 melee creeps, which is significantly more gold than... And now you're very scared of what's obviously an illusion. Yep, it's just dead. Okay, there's the real storm. He's back. He's now 6, so now he has kill potential on you. So now you have to be careful. Okay, this is mega aggressive. Okay, you got your ult at 6. Nice job. At this point, when he's this low, just astral him, and he will die. But since you're not really putting points in astral, I don't blame you too much for not having faith in it. Don't have your orb on autocast right now. You're wasting a lot of mana. Even with max aura, you cannot sustain having it on autocast anymore. If you just do the math on it, because it's pseudo-random, and you have a 40% restore chance, and it uses up, right now, it's 10% of your mana each time. It's just not enough. Like 0.4 times 1/4, you're only going to get a 16th of your mana back, assuming perfect normalness, and you're using up 10%. So look at it that way. So you cannot leave this on autocast. You just cannot do it. Autocast is good for when you're fighting, and it only gets worse. So now you're maxing your Q. Now it only gets worse. You cannot sustain this, and this is one of the reasons that OD is now popular, is because by getting Astral maxed out, you have it on cooldown, so you can use it 2 or 3 times during a fight. It does a bunch of damage, which lets you push out waves and dominate mid, and also it lets you farm creep waves. Once the laning phase breaks down, you can use it to push creep waves and just farm. Okay, you got the haste rune. Looks like you're gonna go gank the Storm Spirit. I don't think this is gonna work out for you. Yeah, he's a Storm Spirit, and you have a haste rune. Do not have any stuns, and okay, does not work out for you, and you feed a duel. Yeah, this is one of those situations. A Storm Spirit is very difficult to kill unless you have stuns. So if Ogre was there maybe, or if Earthshaker caught a fissure, maybe you had a chance. But since you've used your ult, you don't have any way to drain most of his mana. And while stealing Int does drain his mana, it's not very much mana. You're taking 24 off his max mana pool. So when you get a haste rune in those situations, think about who you can kill. Like, honestly, you could have just walked bot, astraled the... you could have easily just astraled the Lifestealer, and then just killed the Disruptor with your haste. You could have just run him down, punched him to death, and then, gotten out. Because Lifestealers, one way of controlling you is the slow, which doesn't affect you through haste rune. So, bot lane, if you're going to use that rune to gank, bot lane's the way to go. Like, you got to think about who you can kill. A Storm Spirit who's 6, who has mana, as an OD, is not someone who you can catch. He's going to be able to juke you out and just run away. Unless you have, if you astral him from a distance, and say Ogre walks up and gets a position to stun, or you have like a Mirana, that's different. But you don't have those things. So think about what your kill potential is and how you're going to catch those. I like the treads. The attack speed and the stats are very good on OD. And honestly, any bottle mid having treads is really nice because you can toggle that. So you're heading back to mid. I'd get rid of this shared tango at this point. I'd have a raindrop, or a stick, or a windlace, or anything. This shared tango is pretty useless. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't kill these tangos either, but that's just me. You still have your orb on auto attack. See, and watch. The other thing the orb does is it gives you somewhat unpredictable damage, so it's kind of hard to last hit. Also, when you're just farming and not concerned about your life, have your treads on int. That's an extra 9 damage you're missing out on, and it's pretty important to have. Like, you ideally want to have that so you're on int when you're farming or fighting and you're not worried about dying, and then you have it on strength when you're worried about dying, and then agility when you're using your bottle. Charges up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, going Thought Rune. It's fine. Again, I would have pushed the wave a little more before I did it. And you get... Looks like you're trying to gank. So the difficulty of this is, well, you got Void Chrono. Let's see how this works out. This is fine. I think Void's. Oh, this is gonna work out. Yep. Astral somebody. You just hit a creep. Astral is your allies? Okay. Yeah, you still like no ins. Use that, you don't have threads, like you're not gonna do any damage. So this turns into a wipe. And this didn't have to be a wipe. So
Where's the party?
yeah. That whole fight kinda went like that because you don't have Astral and you didn't like maxed up to where it's useful. With a 225 cast range, it's a pretty worthless skill. You might as well not have a point. You can use it defensively there, but you could have astraled your allies when Lifestealer went on them to buy them time to get away. You could have even astraled the Lifestealer when he was walking towards you guys before he'd used his rage, and then you could have just, your whole team could have walked away. So, and then even beyond that, you drop your ult, which is a pretty long cooldown when you've only stolen 8 int, and you don't have int treads and you don't have int items. Like, that's just not that significant amount of damage. Like, Lifestealer has 30 int. You had 59. So 59 times, what was it? Doing math, 30. So he has 30, and you had 59. So you're doing 29 times 8. Pull up calculator. Yeah, you're doing like a 200 man magic nuke, and that's to the Lifestealer, who has quite low int. Storm Spirit obviously is an int hero. His int is basically the same as yours. Ogre Undying, his int is pretty good too. His int gain is actually quite good. Yeah, he's got 56 int, 46 int. So this is just one of those things where your level 1 ulti, especially before you have the items, just does not do a ton of damage. Its biggest effect, especially at low levels, is it does do some damage. You know, you're looking at 200, 300 nuke, depending on how much int you've stolen. But what it does do is drain their mana by 40%. And it's a nice way to finish people off from an AoE distance, and it's also a nice way to just drain their mana out at the start of a fight. It's not something you should, like, just... And this is why a lot of ODs skip it. So, that's just kind of how that fight goes, and it's going really bad for you guys. Slark, looks like he's going to get out, though, so... Honestly, I don't... Yeah, Slark's going to get out. Are they going to kill this and die?
I'm
looking where you're looking. No, I think Undying's just going to walk away.
Dyer's bottom tower is under
You're
attack.
alive, you're TPing. I like this. You're trying to cut off the Undying for a kill. Earthshaker figured his own team.
Dyer's bottom tower is taking a tower.
You weren't able to save bot, and that fight turned into a disaster. You lost a fight where you used Chrono. So now at this point, you need to realize that. So there's a lane mid to farming. Odie's not like a mid who wants to constantly fight. You do need items, and he's a slow farmer. So at this point, when the fights happened, Chrono's expended, you don't have your ult. Like, I would just be farming mid right now. There's a lot of free XP here. There's a lot of free gold, and OD is a farming mid. You do need to farm. Now, meanwhile, it looks like your team is chasing them, but between Rage... See, if you had Astral right now, like, I think you're still going to kill her. Okay, you do kill her. But if you had had Astral, that wouldn't even been in doubt. You just Astral her, your whole team walks up there, and what does she do? She takes damage, she takes a big nuke when she comes out, and your whole team is set up to kill her. And she's just dead. Instead, you know, yes, you do get the kill because Earthshaker hit the fissure, but that was only in doubt because of your skill build. You don't want to have to rely. If you don't have to, why don't rely on an opponent's fissure? Okay, you turned off your orb. I like this. Oh, you turned it back on. Okay. Looks like you just turn it on and leave it on, which is pretty cool.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
And it looks like your team is still fighting. And see, Storm knows what's up. He's just going to farm.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
See, and he just zips away. And And if you had Astral, maybe you can set up so Earthshaker could get him, but
Dire's middle
with this
tower is
build,
under
there's no
attack.
chance. So. I do like that you're denying the tower. I'm not sure what item you're going for next. Let's speed this up a little bit. See, you even get many of those last hits because you're just trying to right-click the creeps. See, now you're kind of just milling about. You know there's mid, so you don't feel it's safe there. Just farm these jungle camps. The most important thing to do when you're farming core like this is if lane isn't safe for you, that's fine. That's a good decision to say, hey, there's an Undying and a Disruptor showing now. Just go farm jungle. Don't like mill about here. You could have killed one of these camps in the time you're milling about. Yeah, you could have killed 2 of these camps easy. Looks like you're going to go Force Staff first. I like this. Against a Lifestealer, you absolutely need a Force Staff. I think this is kind of a Force Staff. Oh, Void went Midas. 13-minute Midas. No boots! Ring of Health. Oh. Okay. Well, you know, just solo rank things. I ran into a similarly toxic game here. I like that you're going Force Staff first. It's a Force Staff's a really core item. Lets you get away from the Lifestealer. After that, you probably need like a Lincoln. Oh, nice. Nice chrono by this boy. Just flaming for the item build. His item build's still shitty though. And you're going to get another kill. And you're going to get a tombstone. That is so much gold. 200 gold plus 2 kills. And you got a double kill. I don't think you got the tombstone. Nah, I think Slark did.
A gift from the
Still, it's a pretty big gold boost for you. Almost got your Force Staff now, which would be huge. It looks like you guys are going to try to push mid off this, but you know, you don't have anyone to push. You don't have your AoE nuke. None of these guys do AoE. So they're going to be up. So if you push aggressively in this situation, always look at their death timers and think, okay, we just died in their jungle. What would I do after I died? Well, what happened when you died, bot, and that fight went bad? You guys immediately TP'd to the nearest tower and ran at them. And you got 2 kills out of it. You got Legion and you got that Undying. And then you stayed too long, they TP'd back, and they killed your Ogre. You left for mid. So in this situation, Storm and Undying are just going to TP back to this tower to defend it. Like, that's what's going to happen. Now maybe they just give it up uncontested, but, well, nope. We see here, Undying TP's in, Storm Spirit TP's in. They're going to glimpse somebody. Yep, they glimpse their Shaker. With the Disruptor ulti down, which you're caught in. Ogre's gonna die now. You actually know, you didn't glimpse your chicken. They glimpsed you back. You astral yourself, but all that does is give them time to kill the Ogre and kill you, and you are doomed. And all that happened because, predictably, when they respawn their 2 heroes that you've just killed in your jungle, they're gonna TP to defend their tower. So, once you've done that, go ahead, push the lane into the tower like you guys did, but once you see they're going to respawn, you need to leave. And as a matter of fact, because they have a Disruptor, I wouldn't even push that aggressively. Once you go onto their high ground, you are incredibly vulnerable to them glimpsing you. If they have a ward here, which they very well could, or if they have a ward on their high ground, they keep vision on you, they can easily glimpse you back. So, it's just one of those things where you need to respect your enemy's ability to kill you. And that doesn't matter what skill build or what heroes you're using. Don't just run mindlessly. Oh, we killed 2, get a tower. Well, look at how long they're dead for. See, in this situation, they've got 30 seconds where you're dead, 20 seconds where Ogre's dead. So they have 20 seconds of freedom to push this tower. And not only that, they know Chrono is on cooldown for 53 seconds. They don't know the exact amount, but they know Chrono's on cooldown. So they could easily be pushing this mid tower. It doesn't look like they are, though. Well, Lifestealer is. It's a little weird. Slark has a decent time. Shadowblade. You should be looking mid just to see what the situation is. Looks like your courier's gonna die.
Top tower is under attack.
Looks like your courier's gonna die. No.
Dire's courier. Well, caring feeding.
So now they're all in your jungle. You do sell your tangos. You true drop this. You buy the ring health and you TP in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is fallen.
Looks like they're ganking your Slark. Where he's got Shadow Blade, he should be fine.
I know I can trust you guys.
See, in this situation, they've been roaming as 5. I would just be farming. Just farm these jungle camps. I know it's not the safest thing in the world, but you just need to get items. You spend a lot of times running around looking for fights instead of just farming. And see, and this is the problem. If you don't dominate your lane, which you did not, you just fall behind. You cannot farm very quickly. You don't do any damage. You just auto attack. See, you could just you could have just astraled her there. She's a dead hero. Luckily, her Shaker hit this fissure. Oh no, disruptor ult. You are silenced right now. You do nothing. You could punch this tombstone though. Astral him? Kill that tombstone? Okay. Kill the tombstone? The tombstone golems are honest to god wrecking you. Like, they do damage to you, they slow you, and it hurts. OD has decent armor, but you should have just killed that tombstone with the Slark. And because you didn't, like, you guys fighting under that is probably what lost you the fight.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, is he gonna be able to get away? Kinetic field for vision? He's fine. Oh no! He is still here, but he's fine. So yeah, like, that whole fight, like, you didn't prioritize the tombstone, you stood in the silence when you didn't need to, and then you didn't astral anyone. It's your best ability. You need to use it to take someone out of the fight at the very least, or to save someone. Like, every fight you should be trying to do that. So just, it's 4 seconds when they can't cast abilities, or when they don't cast spells, or they don't right click. Now you can't hit them during it, but that's fine. Like, that Undying wasn't the huge deal to kill. Instead, you could have astraled him, killed the tombstone, and then potentially walked away, gotten away. Instead, tombstone stayed up, you lost the fight. So, you got your Force Staff now, which means you do have an escape, but your damage is severely lacking. Unfortunately, they have a Disruptor in OD. So I think at this point, you know, the build is Hurricane Pike, BKB, just because you need a BKB to deal with this Disruptor. Otherwise, he is going to wreck you. And then after that, you probably need a Lincoln's too. Like, this is just a tough OD game because you need Force Stat, you need Hurricane Pike, you need Lincolns, you need BKB. And then maybe you can get a Hex to deal with the Storm, but that's so many items and you are way behind at this point. Your net worth is garbage. Yeah. 5k is the enemy mid, which Stormfruit's not doing much better, but honestly, you should not be this low. Nice Shadow Blade kill over there. By prioritizing the tombstone there is very important, and it's just gold for everyone to get.
Thanks for that.
So that's a good little kill, but you know, you got your TP. But again, you're not really farming. Your last hits are 41 last hits. You should have that many by 10 minutes. Now I know lane didn't go great for you, but you just need to get farm where you can. Now the sucky thing is Void is taking up the jungle, but you could be farming some bot, like, or you could be farming some mid. Like, these are all actually really scary places to use with Legion. Basically, okay, so now you see Legion there, I would just TP bot and just start farming bot. Because you need to farm in this game, and you cannot do that. So you just want to be where the Legion is not. Ideally, I would be farming the jungle as OD, but it looks like Void's taking that, so you have to take some risks and take this bottom farm, or take this mid farm. Like I said, in an ideal world, Slark and Void farm the dangerous areas because they're the ones who can get away from things. But, you know, it's a pub. It is what it is. So, yeah. Yep, and that is why when you saw her top... Okay, let's just go back a few seconds here. Yep. So, nice graphics glitch there from the replay. You're gonna get blink dueled now, and lifestealer bomb when you're dead. Yep, blink dueled, you're just dead. Yep. And that is the danger of this. This is why it's a tough OD game in this situation. You've got Storm Spirit who can jump you, you got Disruptor who can glimpse you, and you've got Legion who can just blink on you and blow you up. And Lifestealer can be in, in any of those situations, can be around and kill you. It does a ton of damage. So you pretty much need to farm areas that you think are safe, and that was definitely not safe because you saw Legion top. So once you see Legion somewhere, like, get the fuck out. Like, there's nothing good that's gonna happen. And yeah, it's there's not a whole lot to say to that other than that. So they're going for this fight. They've got the chrono. They get a nice 4-man chrono, but you're not alive, so there's no damage to be put in there. And they did kill Disruptor. Slark gets dueled. You could astral somebody, maybe save them. Instead, you're reduced to running away. So the only thing I'll say is this: no one to fight. Like I said, no one to back and no one to fight's lost. Once that 4-man chrono went in there and Slark just walked into it, there's no way that fight's going well. They are ahead as a team, and you should feel that because they have 8 kills on you. So I wouldn't even TP'd to that fight, honest to God. I would have just TP'd bot and just started farming down here. And your team might flame you for that, but what are you going to do? Once Chrono is used before you're alive, like, that's your window to, like, just go ham, right-click people, and drop your ulti to drain their mana and do a ton of damage. Once that opportunity is taken from you, like, you're just a squishy little boy who gets controlled up, who gets blown up by, like, 3 other heroes. And honestly, even Undying can kind of man-mode you for quite some time before he dies. So you need to kind of try to catch up and not take these fights unless you're with your team and they have chrono. But they went too early without you, and that meant the fight was lost. So thank you, Void. That was a wonderful chrono for them. 3-man wipe, and they used up the cooldown. Now they're going to take bot, and you're just kind of milling about top again. And again, what are you going to do here? Your best option at this point is to run bot and farm here, and then just buy another TP, and then, because once Void is up and Slark and they're up, your your TP will be off cooldown, you can TP back. Meanwhile, you're just kind of wasting your time. So yeah, I don't know a whole lot else to say about this game. I think I'm going to pause it here. I know you do lose this game in the end. And your other one you sent me that you asked to be reviewed, you were like 4-0 and did a lot better. But I felt like, you also had like a 9-0 off-lane aggressive Viper. So I went and looked at your other games, and I found this game. And this is a game where you did not win your lane, and it did not go well for you at all. And I thought this would be a better way to demonstrate, like, what the proper build is. Like, if you had maxed Astral, that Storm Spirit has a hellacious time in lane against you. Anytime he approaches the creep wave, you Astral him, you deny him out. And also, if you had Astral, you could be initiating for these team fights, you could be saving teammates, you could be doing all sorts of cool plays. Instead, you were just a walking right-click in a game where Lifestealer can rage, you can be dueled, and Storm Spirit can out-juke you. And so in the end, you're just a really ineffective mid, because as an OD, you really need to win your lane, and you need to keep farming. And you tried to be a team player and fight a lot, but sometimes you just gotta farm as a mid, especially an item-dependent one like OD. So hopefully that helped you, Mr. Blue. If you wanted to, feel free to submit another one if you wanted to look at like some different mid heroes, if that's what you want advice on. Also, if you can just feel free to hit me up. We could just do some 1v1s, and we could just talk about some of this stuff and lane mechanical wise, because I talked a lot about OD specific mechanics, but you also weren't using creep aggro. You were not harassing a melee, a lower range mid than you. There were a lot of things you could have done in that mid lane to make it go better for you. So I'm gonna end this video with that. And just a reminder, you can follow me at Fafnir Dota, and submit replay reviews, commentary, that sort of thing, comments, criticism, anything you want. And also make sure you follow at DotP shows. They have a lot of content. They put up 5 podcasts a week on Dota, and I try to put up about 2 of these replay reviews a week. We announce them all here, and then also we do have some other videos that are going to be going up. And also, if you want to have some of the show hosts from the .p Show Network, go look at the Patreon. If you give $20, you can have one of them do your replay reviews. They aren't promising specific ones, but they will get you a replay review. And Proud, Flub, or Ursinity, who are all better players than me, much better players than me, could review your replays for you and do specific heroes and to coach you up. So, I think that's it. So, hope everyone's having a good Monday.